Hello, thanks for joining us again on the channel. I've been wanting to talk about this for ages, and now that a friend finally got one, we can dive into his experience. Quick note before we begin, there's a discount link in the description and the top comment if you want to check it out. Now let's not waste any more time and jump right into the details.
Starting things off, our first reviewer gives us their perspective.
This reviewer recently got their hands on this scooter and wanted to share their experience. They've tried out a few different electric bikes before, from the smaller, foldable types to the larger cruisers and mountain bikes with different tire types, and each one has its good and bad points. However, there are a few features that are a must for this reviewer. They look for a motor strong enough to help with hills, at least 7 gears, pedal assist, easy access for someone in their 60s, a comfortable ride with decent suspension, fat tires for stability, and a removable battery for convenient charging and longer rides. This particular model checked almost all the boxes with just one potential issue, its top speed. The reviewer immediately noticed the high build quality. It arrived with some damage to the box, but with no damage to the product thanks to the protective packaging. At over 75 pounds, this scooter is heavy, but that's because of the larger battery and stronger motor. Assembly was pretty straightforward. Putting together the pedals, fenders, and front wheel was all that was required. The ride itself is smooth and comfortable because of the fat tires and front suspension, and the motor feels very powerful. The design is clean and streamlined, with neatly tucked away cables. Shifting gears is effortless, and the fat tires provide a satisfying sound. The controls are easy to use, and the display is clear and informative. The battery is very large, giving it a big advantage in range, and it uses a USB-C interface for charging, which is a welcome change. Overall, this reviewer found the scooter to be enjoyable and comfortable. The motor provides smooth acceleration, but might be a bit much for a complete beginner. It handles rough terrain well, and the suspension does a good job. However, the top speed is higher than what's legally allowed in some areas, so be sure to check your local regulations.
Wonderful. Now, let's explore the feedback from our next reviewer.
This reviewer is clearly thrilled with this electric bike. Our reviewer notes that it's been an amazing purchase, comparing it favorably to much pricier models found in local bike shops. It seems the combination of features, a large, removable battery, those chunky tires, a convenient cargo rack, and a powerful headlight, really sealed the deal. This client even states that the scooter has become their primary mode of transportation, replacing their car for getting around town. The 20 mph speed seems adequate, and they rave about the pedal assist making all-day riding and conquering steep hills a breeze. Finding a similar package of features locally apparently proved impossible without spending a fortune, although our reviewer admits the frame is on the heavier side, which is easily outweighed by the cost savings and strong motor. They also mention the motorcycle-style throttle, emphasizing that while it's fun, pedaling is the way to go for battery conservation. Securing a spare battery was also simple, albeit requiring direct contact with customer support. However, this client also highlights a few drawbacks. One potentially dangerous quirk is a manual mode that can cause the wheel to spin uncontrollably if activated accidentally, which led to an unfortunate spill. They also point out that the metal frame around the rear tire can bend easily in a fall, causing annoying rubbing, and that the battery can sometimes pop out during a spill, even when locked. Finally, they had a couple of flat tires relatively quickly, and replacing the rear tube is apparently more involved than on a regular bike. Their advice is to be careful around curbs and to carry tire sealant and a pump.
Awesome. Let's hear what our next reviewer has to share about their experience.
This reviewer had a pretty rough start with this electric bike. After receiving it, they wisely decided to take it to a professional bike shop for assembly and a checkup. Unfortunately, the mechanic discovered a potential problem with the crankshaft, suggesting a risk of the chain coming loose under heavy pedaling. This prompted our reviewer to contact the manufacturer, hoping to utilize the warranty. To their disappointment, the manufacturer declined to offer a fix. Undeterred, the reviewer went ahead and had the bike shop replace the problematic part. However, another issue arose. The new component wouldn't fit properly with the existing chain guard. This resulted in the chain gear still wobbling, though the mechanic assured them it would still function. So the bike is now repaired, but it sounds like the replacement parts aren't exactly the right fit, and the chain guard is missing because it couldn't be accommodated. This client is understandably conflicted. They're now left with a repaired bike that has mismatched parts and a missing chain guard. The big question is whether it's worth keeping as is, knowing these issues exist. It's a tough call. On one hand, it's functional, but on the other, there are some potentially long-term problems related to the ill-fitting parts and missing chain guard that our reviewer needs to consider. It would be prudent for this reviewer to consider the impact of these issues on the bike's safety and longevity before making their decision.
And that's a wrap. If this video was helpful, like and subscribe. Got questions? Let's chat in the comments. See you soon.